Hello, hello. This is Kevin without Wit ME, gaming with a diagnosis of ME, which is myalgic encephalomyelitis. Simple terms, severe cognitive impairment, medical issue, whatever. And I push myself to play strategy and story games that I can't necessarily fully follow along with. Today we are playing Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. This is quite a long game. Check the playlist before you commit to see how far I've got. There's probably going to be some huge gaps in uploads. I just spent more than a month in the hospital trying to get my medical stuff resolved. Very little to show for it other than a referral to another hospital. So I fully expect to be spending another month minimum at a higher level of care. Might have a week or two to record things, which means maybe I'll get like 10-20 hours into the game. Alright, that out of the way, I'm quite familiar with the Pathfinder games from Owlcat. I know a little bit of the Warhammer setting. I've listened to some short stories and done enough reading to get the basic gist of things. This music's a little obnoxiously loud right now. But I'm going into this more with a familiarity of the genre of games and no familiarity in this specific game system or rules. I do have an idea for a character. I've just purchased this in the Season 1 pack of DLC. I will admit I did watch someone play the tutorial back when this game was in early access, and then I shut the videos off before I could be spoiled on anything. I don't... literally all I remember is you're quickly introduced to some of the companions, which... that's just a trope of the genre. That's not anything specific. So... my character, very uncreatively, is literally just like a rogue trader. Like, what those words mean to me. I'm going with gonna make a somewhat greedy merchant type of character. And I have actually got a custom portrait. Yeah, as far as this series, this game is not fully voice acted. I'll be expecting anyone watching to be doing their own reading. Sorry, I'm just not that diligent. I'm not gonna be one of the many Let's Players who actually just reads everything for you. I'm struggling to talk and even read this myself, so yeah. You'll have to... well, you don't have to do anything, but please put up with my low conscientiousness. I don't know. I don't have a better way to say it. I have a big problem that sometimes I only remember the fancy words for things and I forget how to actually talk normal. I will summarize things that are important, though. That I can do. So, I do remember from the blurb on this door that you're kind of someone who has like special privileges in the whole Warhammer universe. Because apparently trade, just by its nature, can't follow all the laws and rules and be effective at the same time. Something like that. Difficulty. Typically what I'll do with these types of games is I turn it up just a little bit. So, to like daring. don't know how smart that really is. I mean, I learned Pathfinder through a daring playthrough, and I didn't have that much trouble. I had to reload here and there, but I don't think I had to respec any of the characters, or I didn't have any hard stops like that. Till the end, I did turn down the difficulty for the final boss, but I hadn't played the game a couple months by the time I swung back for the last little bit. I don't know what any of, like I said, I don't know the system, so none of this means anything to me right now. And I'm not at my baseline. I was not doing well in the hospital, and I do terrible with ambulance rides, so that's where I'm very much tempted to just leave it on the default normal. Should be able to adjust it after the fact as I decide, or as I reflect on how difficult it is. I gotta turn it up. I always do that. Gotta do it. You'll get to point and laugh, because I literally told you I shouldn't do it, and I'm doing it anyway. The game's telling me I shouldn't be doing it. I'm doing it anyway. Find some entertainment in the bad decisions. I know. You got warnings all over the place, but I'm doing it anyway. How long have I taken to get to the character creation? 7 minutes? At least I already did most of this in advance, so we're not going to take forever here. And this system's a lot simpler than Pathfinder from my first impression. I don't think there's as much capacity to screw up your game right from the start. So custom portrait. Well, let's look at what they have here first. We're going for something that's along that theme. But we'll skim through these before I show you. Because what I did is I went on Pinterest to look for portraits, found one I liked, and then I used AI to make it fit into the game's aesthetic better. So I put the original artwork in the game as well as my modified one, so I can... I mean, I can't give credit when I don't know the name of the author, but I can at least show you the original art before I mangled it. And I am very much pro AI art, but I say that because I'm sympathetic that not everybody is. So here's the original art I found. And then here's what we turned it into. I'd say the proportions aren't perfect, but they're the same as the original, I would say. That is our character. Definitely bulky. What does this do? Huh. Backpack. I guess we have to swing back to that. I don't know. That scar is probably going to have to go. Yeah, let's get that for now. Oops. Face is going to be... Oh, I'm glad you could pop that up. That's quite helpful. We should put some hair on before we do the face. I haven't really poked around in the character creator so much as the wiki, so the appearance is what's going to take me the longest because I haven't pre-planned it. Collection of eyebrows, huh? I mean, I guess that is a part of the aesthetic. Just don't know how much you're going to be seeing it in the actual game. Do that one for the moment. I'm very tempted to just take this one. And I probably will. But let's see what other kind of messier hairs we got. I do love my goofy aesthetic options. There is an argument for that. The argument has nothing to do with it really matching the portrait, and just a general interesting factor. I don't think we want the hairline. What do you call that? Retreated hairline? There's a phrase for it. It feels too neat. That's not what we're looking for. That one's possible. That does match the character. But this one. Like, how can you say no? I think we are between these two. Are there any other light hair colors in here? Well, other than white and gray, it's not what we're going for. I like that aesthetic. I think I am going to decline the goofiness for once. We can do goofy eyebrows. We'll call that enough Kevinization. That one's hard to see from this angle. I wonder why. I think we might have already gotten the best of the goof. Yeah, that'll do. I can't really see what I'm doing, so we're not going to overthink that. I'm not sure we want any facial hair. The portrait doesn't have any. We'll look through the options, but I have a hunch none of these are really gonna work for the aesthetic we're going for. Just fun to look at. I mean, that one's fun. You know, I could see something like that. Yeah. What's the difference between those? Oh, got the pork chops. That's the difference. if there was something that's just the pork chops, then that would be a strong maybe. Yeah, the character we're going for here is kind of doing a future capitalist type guy. Like, not just any old capitalist, but someone who has, like, an ideological commitment to, like, an absurd level. That's kind of what we're going for. I do think the clean shaven is going to be the best representation of what we're trying to do here. So we'll just do that. I don't really know what we want for the face. I'm not sure how closely we're going to be able to match that. That's not bad. Faces, weird. There's something about these faces that's kind of Plato-ish. And we're not talking about the philosopher. We're talking about the industrial waste for children to play with. Yeah, we want the guy to be somewhat on the younger side. So 9 or 10, perhaps. What's the difference between these? Can't even tell. Which means we shouldn't be overthinking it. This one doesn't have the forehead wrinkles, so sure. Are there any scars that fit our build here? Probably not, because this is definitely a kind of guy who stays in the back. Either gives orders or snipes, you know? Wouldn't be the one getting scarred. So we'll go without those. Not knowing the lore is pretty great when we're picking tattoos. So we got no idea what we put in on the guy. Like, I don't know what faction that is. Skulls are pretty fun, though. Especially when you can't even see it. Now, we might just go with the augmentations and not think too much about tattoos. Nope, he's not the Joker. That's not what we're doing. What does that say? Morty? Mortis? I don't know. My eyes are terrible. That one says it too. Flaming skull. I do kind of like just the basic circuitry lights though. Or a mole. It's not really a tattoo, but just a little touch of some. I don't think the color is really changing either. But whatever. This one probably be more. Nah, it's not really anywhere noticeable. Whatever, we can come back if we want to do more tattoos. Regardless of the portrait, this is the kind of guy who would probably have an augmentation. Yeah, a lot of these really only work if your guy's bald. Not knowing the lore is wonderful. So I'm going to end up doing some, and then someone will be in the comments like, you just designed a character to be XYZ, and you're not playing them that way. Be great. Might go with that one. Like the golden nose. I don't see any change in color whatsoever, so that must only apply to some of these. That's a little too busy. Let's try. So yeah, that says the color change on it. Yeah, we do on the left if we're going to do that. I'm just assuming that's like a chaos symbol or something. I know a little bit about the lore, like I said. This guy's probably got a little bit of chaos in him. If it's what earns him the cash. Alright, I think we got what we want.
Something of interest.
I am but a vessel for the higher purpose. To arms! Unleash the storm of macro cannons.
What curiosity unveils itself before me?
My supremacy is proven once again.
Yeah, that's co-carnage.
Now that's interesting.
Time for a round of space regicide!
Yeah, we're definitely not playing someone crazy.
Through chaos, I stride.
Just standard heretical, maybe.
The best defense is a good offense.
Stay faithful, and
You didn't stand a chance!
whispers guide my hand.
Time to reap the spoils of the battle.
The death's hand reaches for me.
done and done. Your existence is naught but ashes.
We'll go with that one. There's nothing that perfectly fits. That'll do. Okay. So I very much understand the concept of attributes and skill points. That's pretty universal for these types of RPG games. And kind of just what I threw together myself was we're going to just try to maximize the fellowship and the commerce skill. That's about as complex as my idea for the build got. That's why I was able to do it ahead of time. I didn't actually look at the features very much. I also did my little build pre-planning weeks ago at the hospital, and considering I thought Voidborn gave fellowship, I might not be remembering things very well. Maybe it was, no, it was Hive World was the one I was thinking of. That's why I'm confused. Imperial World is kind of just the generic one. I mean, you're just getting talents and features as opposed to modifiers. Probably go for the Hive World. I know what we're doing for the origin, so that'll be easy. Alright, so we want characters to stand together. Actually, we have to have that, basically. Okay. Oh. So losing the willpower is not as important. I see. Yeah, I haven't really looked at any of the mechanic stuff. I was just looking at the skill points and trying to fit the aesthetics of the character. See, I know none of the other ones really interact with the Fellowship. The Imperial doesn't sabotage it. So I guess this is like a freebie skill bonus that could be put into commerce. We're just gonna go for Hive World. That's a pretty cool aesthetic, but as the picture might imply, we're going for the blue coat, the Navy officer. This is kind of like, well, I mean, not to be the expert here, but this, I think, is the ground, like, military force, like an army commander. Commissar is like morale and loyalty type person in the military. Yeah. For whatever reason, I'm failing to think of the real life term. My brain just keeps saying communications officer, but no, not quite. I mean, just an actual commissar. It just doesn't have an equivalent. Well, it must have an equivalent in the U.S. military. I just don't know it. offhand. Just generic officer. Yeah. Was tempted by playing some type of like priesty character, but or someone who tithes more than they should type of thing, but that's not the type of greed we're going for. Thought with naval officer primarily is just they get the fellowship and the commerce, but the theme or the story to it will be that that's where they got the opportunity for business and trade. Is they're they're on spaceships. They go in between planets. They're not just following missions that are more straightforward. They can sneak a little bit of smuggling and things on the side without going into crime lord specifically. So that's good. So that combines the other thing where I want people within a few cells, and this has a bonus for when people are also within 3 cells of me. So we can kind of hold a formation. Also, demolition's fun. So that's nice to have. I don't know what melee superiority is. Let's see if we can learn. Oh, it's like flanking. Okay. Alright, so this guy's good for getting, or for surviving, or no, for getting away from like meleeers. You can either push him away or he can get away with less consequence. It's good. Everything seems to be, what's the word? Synergetic so far. So I'll show you the outfits for the other ones. You know what we're going with. I find it crazy that like the Psyker is just an origin, because this is like a whole like class worth of abilities and talents. It's hard not to see this as being overpowered, but as I said, I literally haven't played this before, don't know the system, so yeah. Somehow it's balanced with the other ones. I just don't know the answer. And this is from the DLC. This is like a pet class. Got shotguns and a dog. That's all I really know about it. But we're going with Navy officer. Oh, you can change the color scheme. Oh, I bet most people miss that. I was just going in here to turn the hat off. Because
Empyrean, take this sacrifice.
Sure. But I want to see what this looks like. Because it's so tempting to take that. No, I don't like that one with the outfit. Oh, it looks good. No. We're taking it. I can't. I can't not. It's too good. Hey, that's not green, that's red. I like the brighter color one. It's cool. He doesn't have a backpack. Huh. Maybe this is something you can mess around with in the game too, because I don't know what some of those options are. Okay. So what are our options for the Triumph and so on? This is just like additional skill points, and then Darkest Hours minus skill points. I'm assuming this comes up in the story as well, but I don't know. Technology use. We are going to have an ability to fine tune things after, so we'll want to think about which attributes, characteristics, whatever, which ones we're probably going to drop. So this is like lock picking and hacking. Don't think that's the direction we're going. This is commerce. We know we want that. So we'll probably just grab this. New dialogue options. Commerce it is. Minus logic's not too offensive. Not going to be able to make rational arguments. Well, that's when it gives new dialogue as well. Oh, no, not minus commerce. No, that is the kind of thing our dude would do. It's tempting, like, because if this comes up in the story, yeah, this matches. If it doesn't, then I'm literally just canceling those out. They cancel each other. Using logic or persuasion, that's... Oh, these are all... No, they're not all fellowship, but they're all related to dialogue. I like the theme of he's a merchant who's all about trade and conversation, but he's much better when it's business talk than any other type of convincing. I like that idea. Logic is eh. This is more interesting, given lower persuasion. So we'll do that. And now we gotta figure out what we want to do in combat. We have not been thinking about much at all. We know we're good at being near companions and getting away from melee. So we're not going to pick a melee class. Because, as I said, well, we're going to be behind the melee guy. So, I mean, officer is probably the best choice for us. I don't really know. I mean, I haven't looked into this, let alone the, like, prestige classes. What is this? That's kind of busy. What's going on here? Alright, at rank 1, what do we get? That's good with the fellowship. I mean, officer is the obvious choice. I just want to know if there's any other reasonable choices. Extra turns, and then you can customize it from there. We're not planning ahead because I literally can't do that. Not specifically, at least. I could come up with a vague idea of something, but... Is this just saying that, like, does the thumbs up mean that it's good that I already have high of that if I pick this, or does it mean that this increases it further? I think it increases things further, just based on what's there. We're not doing Blade Dancer, as cool as that sounds, I don't think. Let's see. Nah, that's very much melee class. Don't worry, we'll have someone in the party with the other cool classes. We will not be missing out. Furtive? Make any use of fellowship? No? No. What is an operative doing? Exploit weaknesses, like a rogue. So this would be if we were sniping. Yeah, it's cool. Maybe we'll have someone else in the party who can do the sniping. We're gonna pick the obvious choice and not misclick. There'll be some time before we have to think about prestige classes, so we're not going to think about it. Alright, we have 30 points to work with. Do we want to shore up the one that's low? That'll be the first question. Is willpower not tied to any skills? Resisting mental effects like your powers. That implies it has some skill or dialogue connection. Am I just missing the skill that it's related to? I don't know. I'm not offended by it being low based on what I've seen, though. I don't know, it says what skills are affected here. Okay. We're definitely boosting this. Alright, it goes in sets of 5. We'll start with that at 50. How about that? That seems like a strong way to start. Weapon skill is close combat. We don't care about that. Can't subtract to gain points. We'll move on. Ranged weapons. I don't know how much opportunity we're going to be having to fire versus using all of our other skills. So I don't know how important this actually is for us. Melee weapons, objects, blah 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 blah. I don't need that. What does carouse get us? Can get you some dialogue. Toughness is basically the health points. That's always useful. I think that'd be an easy choice to put some points in. Well, I don't know how agile our character is, just based on our... Oh, demolition, though. You might be more agile than we look, then. Put 1 click into that. Oh, we can only put up to 2 clicks. Okay, I didn't even notice. I just did it. Okay. Intelligence. I feel like if we're doing a more skills type character, there's an argument to at least putting 1 point in there. Yes. Don't think we care about perception. Feel like we might be making a mistake if we don't at least put 1 in here. We really want to just be keeping people away from us. I guess I'm just worried about grenades and area of effect if we're staying within range of the frontliners. What does dodge do? Negate damage. An area attack. Okay. So that can help with that. And demolition skill. Okay, I think that's reasonable. I know I didn't put anything in toughness. Would it be better to have that in the ballistic skill? Be a little more well-rounded. Nah, it's fine. Non-burst ranged area attacks. I don't really know if I'd have that. But we'll stick with our gut instinct. Patient fortune. Why not impatient fortune? Actually, I like that kind of name, but I also want to see what some of the others are. We might come back to that and make it impatient fortune. Yeah. What? Yeah, these are just getting more nonsensical as we go. Yeah, I can't even... I don't know what you're going on about. Sorry, I gotta use a virtual keyboard, so the sound might... We're not gonna... Well, we made the pun for the video. We're not gonna... Hey, is there an autocorrect in this? I think I'm spelling this wrong. Oh, the keyboard has one built in. I gotta... Is it It's not impatient. It literally is impatient. So I was trying not to make the pun, and by doing so, I just misspelled the word. Okay, the pun's built into the word. Fine. I don't know anything about ships, let alone fantasy ships, so. Yeah, whatever. Now we gotta name our dude. It's Jabez. Constantinius. Just Seth. Now. We're going to go for Blue Shade with one E. He wears a lot of blue. I don't know. I thought Green Shade because he's about money, but yeah, I doubt they're still using dollars in the year 40,000. So yeah. This seems like a character. I was gonna say a good character, but hell if I know. We ready? How long did I take to get through character? I still took about an hour to get this far, even when I knew what I was gonna do. Man, what if I didn't know what I was gonna do? Then how long would have it taken? Alright. I'm gonna cut the episode here then, actually. I'll just make another episode when the game starts. Goodbye!